Hi again then guys, and welcome to another Forza Horizon 3 top-end speed build in particular, but obviously with acceleration and handling thrown in there as well, for good measure, and this time it's for a car which is very easy to underestimate. Not necessarily the most popular of Mustangs, the 78 King Cobra, but I had a suspicion that this car would be pretty rapid, to say the least, because it's already really light, and on other Forza games it's been pretty quick. But now that we have the huge power options of that 1500 horsepower engine, I had pretty high hopes. Thankfully, those hopes were not disappointed, because this thing is a monster. In fact, it's one of the quickest muscle cars in the game. Now, as far as the conversions go, as I said, I would recommend, of course, that 1500 horsepower option with, obviously, the twin turbo. For the drivetrain, again, of course I'd recommend all-wheel drive, helps you get all of that power down and also helps out a lot on the dirt, of course, as well. You don't have to fit it if you're opposed to it, but I would recommend it. Now, as far as the rest, upgrade the power, obviously, lower the weight as much as you can, fit your race tyres, suspension, diff, gearbox. As you can see on this one, I actually have fitted the roll cage because it does improve your acceleration and of course the car class level as well, although that's kind of incidental really. Now, as far as the benchmark, the acceleration's pretty good. It's not amazing, but it's pretty good, but it's that top speed which just puts it over the edge to be quicker than the vast majority of other muscle cars. One of the relatively few to keep up in the classic sector is the CUDA, which is also extremely fast. Now, 2.5 to 60 is not bad by any means, 5.6 to 100 certainly isn't, but 273? That's pretty quick for a 78 Mustang. It certainly didn't disappoint me when I tuned it up. Now, as far as the gearbox, I would recommend a final drive of 2.75, then individual gears of 2.9, 2, 1.5, 1.17, 0.94 and 0.76. Pretty familiar settings apart from the final drive to those who have used my tunes before. As far as anti-roll, we've got neutral camber and toe. As I always say, if you want to give it some camber, stance it a little bit. Of course, that's down to you. 4 degrees of caster for the in-between, between loose and stiffer steering. Anti-roll we've got on 35 and 20. Springs on 195 and 115 with the lowest ride height. Dampers on 17, 11, 8 and 5. Aero obviously doesn't apply on this one. And for the diff, I've got 100% on my acceleration settings and 0 on decel. And for this particular car, not really any surprise to anyone, I've gone for a 70% split in favour of that back end. So, of course, you can adjust whatever you want. This tune is on my storefront, so you can use the keywords down in the video description if you want to find it quickly in the search. But, regardless of whether you download it or follow the tutorial and make your own version of it, either way, let's take it out on the road and see what it's actually capable of. Now, when I say that this car is quick, that's an understatement. This thing is insanely quick. The low-end acceleration according to the benchmark doesn't necessarily sound that amazing. There are definitely quicker cars out there, but it's the top-end acceleration in particular which is insane, and that's where stuff like that ultra-low weight and also a pretty narrow aerodynamic profile compared to many other muscle cars really comes in handy, because this thing flies up to 273 and even beyond. You can nudge 274, and if you maybe extend some of the gears a little bit, like your last gear and even your final drive, you might get it even higher. I have no doubt that other people have, so by all means play around with the tune, get it even higher than I have. The car definitely has that potential, and in fact, not only is it pretty much the quickest muscle car in the game that I've tuned so far, but it's also one of the quickest cars in the game, period. It's insanely rapid, and I would definitely recommend checking this car out. So, if you enjoyed this tune, there are plenty more on the channel, but for now, as always, thanks for watching.